Shields ran into the closest maintenance tunnel and headed down to Deck 2. The backup comm is one of a few systems which keeps operating, and to battery power when the ship loses power like this. Basically, when the ship's disabled, we need to be able to breathe and call for help. That's why life support and the FTL comm keep working. It's a lot more limited than the regular ones though. We can only transmit a text message less than 120 characters in length. Oh, brilliant. And the message can only be broadcast on the Intergalactic Distress and Rescue channel. Another problem is that the batteries are still nowhere powerful enough to power life support for the entire ship. The air's going to get really thin on Deck 2 real fast. All the lifts and trams are offline as well, so I'll be crawling through about 300 meters of maintenance tunnels. Oh, exciting! Yay! Okay. After roughly half an hour of climbing down ladders and crawling through maintenance shafts, hardly wider than sewage pipes, Shields could begin to see his breaths turn into frost vapors. Oh dear! The air was no longer as rich with oxygen, making the trek all the more arduous. The outermost sections of the ship were quickly dissipating heat into space, and life support was slowly losing the battle to keep the extremities of the ship fit for human life. Uh-oh, it's getting worse. The walls were now frozen solid with a thin layer of ice, while small icicles hang from the pipes running along the wall of the tunnel. Shields' head spun thanks to the lack of oxygen, which only made the numbness in his fingers and toes worse. Ow! Shit! I completely forgot how much I hated the cold. I remember I used to complain to Ava every day during the winter about our school uniforms. The military uniforms we have now are of course made from thermoweave and can retain body heat much better than wool, but I'd need something closer to a plug suit to keep myself protected against elements like this. Finally, Shields arrived at a tiny alcove in the tunnel. With trembling hands, he removed the wall panel, exposing the controls of the FTL comm. Icicles hung from the comms cables, while a thin layer of frost caked the steel casing. God damn it! This thing had better still be working. His pressed the activation button. His pressed? But the comm showed no signs of life. Shit! What the hell's wrong with this thing? He tried to troubleshoot the problem, making sure all the cables were connected. Finally, he came upon a single unplugged cable, dangling at the bottom of the case. Unfortunately, the cable slot was now obstructed by a solid block of ice, making it impossible to plug back in. Oh, brilliant. He tried to force the cable steel rod into the receptor, but the hole was completely filled with ice. Frustration bubbled instead of him. Shouldn't that be inside of him? I don't know. Who had dropped the ball and left this cable unplugged? Was there a member of the maintenance crew? A malfunctioning repair drone? His head spun thanks to oxygen deprivation, making it impossible to think logically. No, I have to remain focused. Put plug into receptor. That's what you're here to do. Someone accidentally left a cable unplugged. I won't be able to turn the comm on without it, but the receptor's now frozen solid. Shit! Shields racked his brain for a way to thaw the ice inside the receptor. The plug was hardly larger than a pen. It wouldn't take much heat to melt the ice inside, but without the proper tools. He wasn't thinking properly. He should have come prepared with a blowtorch or something. Hindsight is always 20/20. There's only one option. I'm going to cross the charges on the battery. It'll make the power cables overheat and melt the ice away. Thanks to the oxygen deprivation and his grim realization that they would not last much longer in the cold, Shields immediately unplugged the two power cables and crossed the charges without a second thought. As expected, the power connections from the batteries to the comm unit began to emit smoke. The smell of acid burned Shields' nose as the power cables suddenly became extremely hot. Ooh. Suddenly sparks flew from the comm box as a conduit burst. Shields uncrossed the charges in a panic. On the bright side, the ice was now melted from the receptor. That is, if he didn't just blow up the comm. He grabbed the cable and successfully plugged it in. Did it work? Or did I just melt the only comm we could use to warn Fontana's fleet? He took a deep breath and turned the comm on. He breathed out in relief when it amazingly activated. We're in business! Damn, I can't believe I actually did a thing like that. If Ava were here, she'd probably murder me. But looks like my luck's still holding. Fontana, you better read this message after everything we went through to send it. Who's we? You're on your own at the moment. Shields used the comms keypad to type out the warning to Fontana and relayed it. Now all we can do is pray someone on board Fontana's ship is watching the distress channel and takes the message seriously enough to relay it to Fontana. Shields reattached the wall panel and once again closed the comm. Shields made his agonizingly slow return to the center of the ship. His extremities were now completely numb, and his consciousness faded in and out because of the thin air. The return trip proved far more difficult than his first expedition. Worse still, since he was headed to Deck 1, he now had to climb up frozen ladders instead of climbing downwards. Shields carried on by himself, his ragged breaths freezing into vapor clouds in front of him. His knees and hands burned from hours of crawling through the Sunrider's frozen maintenance tunnels. He knew he had to head deeper into the ship quickly before his body gave out on him. If he fell unconscious here, he would surely freeze to death before anyone could find him. Come on, I can't give up. Not when I finally managed to send the message to Fontana. He came upon a ladder roughly 15 meters high. With a deep breath, he clambered up, desperate not to lose any more time. His throat burned with each step upwards. His fingers were trembling. His feet unexpectedly gave out halfway up the ladder, making him tumble down and bang his other knee on the ladder step. Ow! Ah! Agony shot up his thighs. He begged his arms to hang onto the ladder, but his fingers were frozen solid. Oh dear. The corners of his vision blanked out as his lungs screamed for more oxygen. The pain finally proved too much to bear, and his foot slipped off the frozen step. Shields flailed as he fell down the rest of the ladder until he hit the ground flat on his back. Ah! He felt as if he had been impaled upon a spike. With a gasp, he expulsed a final pitiful breath of air before darkness descended upon him. Oh dear. Someone! Shields gasped for help, his consciousness embedding away on the floor of the frozen corridor. But nobody answered his call. His arms flopped to the ground as he lost consciousness. Not a soul came to Shields' rescue as his body gradually lost all of its heat. The maintenance tunnel became Shields' icy grave as his body finally gave out. By the time ship security found him, his body was nothing more than a block of frozen flesh. Bad end. Frozen. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I thought that would be a completely different end. Captain, you made a very pivotal mistake here. You chose not to trust poor old Claude when she worked day and night to bring you back into this timeline. No, I can't even look at you anymore. Go back to when you kidnapped Chigara and choose to trust me instead. Then maybe I'll help you. Really? Really? So, because I chose not to trust her, I died. Really? That's it? Fine. Okay then, so I guess this time we're gonna choose to trust Claude. Alright. Why not? Let's see. Same thing? So far it all looks the same. Aha! Okay then, let's carry on. He woke up, enveloped in warmth. What's going on? The last thing I remember is falling off the ladder. I am dead? One look around revealed that he was still in the Sunrider's maintenance tunnels, so he was most certainly not dead. He groped around for his surroundings. I don't trust this music, and grabbed a large, squishy mass floating over his head. Oh no. What the? Ara! Of course. Shields pulled himself up, only to receive a faceful of Claude's massive mammies. Massive mammies. She seemed completely unfused by his accidental feel, however. Ah, Captain, you're finally awake. Claude was worried you were about to hit another bad end. Yeah, my fourth one. Claude, how'd you get here? Shields realized he already knew the answer to that question, decided to replace it with a more helpful one. I mean, why'd you come here? Isn't it obvious? To rescue my poor darling, of course. I can't have you die in such an anticlimactic fashion. And it was my lucky chance to nurse you back to health, using nothing more than my body warmth. Lovely. Shield shuddered and checked himself to make sure everything was still as he had left it. Claude's here to help, even though the captain thinks I'm nothing but a nuisance. Look here, Claude, you vanished on me at a pretty important moment. Just what are you doing, disappearing and reappearing on a whim like that? Can't you at least be a little bit more helpful? Well, it'd actually be for the best if I kept my power usage to a minimum. As I said, the law of casualties, quite a forceful man when it comes to treating naughty time paradoxes like myself if I become too noticeable. Yeah, I'm afraid the law will grab poor Claude by the hair, push her down, and pound her until she vanishes off the face of the universe. So lovely. Usually things are alright, as long as I don't touch the time machine. But the more I flick my secret time button, you get my drift, Captain. Schultz rubbed his face in frustration. That seemed like a common occurrence whenever he was speaking with Claude. Before he could get off her lap, she wrapped her arms around his face. Your body was almost frozen solid when I found you. Yeah, Claude had to strip off everything and envelop you with my love to restore your HP. It was a long process, but gradually your HP bar began to fill back up with blood, until it stood on end, about to burst from all the love that this maiden was giving to restore her beloved back to health. It was at this point that this maiden was confronted with a true dilemma. Do I let the HP gauge burst and start over from 0? Or do I keep it at maximum strength? It was truly a nightmarish choice. Alright. Schultz shuddered at what may have happened while he was unconscious. For better or worse, his body felt restored to health at least. Whatever Claude had done to him, he felt light as a feather, as if he had just woken up from a refreshing sleep. Thanks for saving me then. Ooh, this is quite rare. The captain actually thanking old Claude. He sighed. I would have died out there if you hadn't come, so I guess I at least owe you my thanks. Foo. I could think of a whole lot of other ways you could repay this debt. How about a quickie, right here? Any trace of gratitude vaporized from Shields' mind at Claude's outrageous suggestion. Like we could do that in the middle of a frozen maintenance shaft, you dork. For a chance with you, Captain, Claude will move the mountains and create new stars. I was a fool. Like anything would come out of being grateful to you. Let's get a move on. I don't appreciate the sudden sundry act, Captain. This ship already has plenty of those. I love it. Do I look like Icari to you? Lame. Looks like you just lost your chance at holding these godly boobs in your palms, Captain. Love it. Claude winked as she jiggled her chest. Shields finally managed to peel Claude off of him and sit back up. So, are you planning on sticking around this time? Of course, Captain, unless another sticky situation happens where I might be forced to use my powers, of course. Right. Well, I'll try to stay out of trouble then. So, how long was I out? For about an hour. We better move. We've wasted too much time here. The ship's dull without power. We need to head to engineering and figure out a way to turn the reactor back on. Understood, Captain. Now, tee-hee? Shall Claude go uppy the ladder first? No. I'll take point. Follow me. Boo. And I took the extra effort to wear my special panties for you today. You see, that's exactly what I was afraid of. Now's not the time to fool around, Claude. Let's move. Sa! Love it. T-minus 47 hours before the Liberation Day massacre. 11 hours until Chigara enters the mainstream. Technically, it's not Chigara at the moment. It's Alice. Oh well. After what seemed like an eternity, the pair finally returned to the ship's core. They sighed in relief as the air once again became thick with oxygen, and the frost in the tunnels gradually disappeared. Alright, now that we got the message sent, we still need to restore the ship's power. The only way to do that is to head to engineering and figure out just what Chigara's done to the main reactor. Looks like there's no way around revealing ourselves to the crew for this. Oh dear. I guess to be on the safe side, I should stay hidden in the tunnel. I wouldn't want to risk the crew realizing that the Doctor is in 2 places at once. I'll keep watch and warn you if the other Kyoto shield shows up. Okay, I'll go down there and see. Oh, explosions! Before shields could finish, the ship shook as a massive explosion bent the hull. Damn! What was that? Ooh, the ship's under attack! Shit, this didn't happen in my timeline. We've already altered the course of history by revealing ourselves to the prototype leader before the final battle. Is she now going to use the opportunity to kill us all here? Come on, let's find out what's going on. Shields opened the tunnel's gate and entered engineering. Crewmen scrambled as the ship shook. Pipes burst throughout the room, spewing clouds of vapor. Without any power, the ship was both toothless and blind. Shit! He really likes that word, doesn't he? Yeah. I should have seen this coming. Of course the prototypes would exploit an opportunity like this to sink the ship. Shields ran to the reactor's controls and found Icari furiously pounding away on the console. Icari, what's the situation? There you are! Did you manage to send a message? Yeah. How are things on this end? I've been trying to hack through the logic bomb Chigara set up for us for the last few hours. Luckily, I think I found a weakness. The ship took another hit, knocking the 2 of them off their feet. Damn it! Shields screamed to a crewman. What's the situation? Sir, Crow's Nest reports that the Pact fleet has advanced in our position. The combined fleet is trying to hold Pact back, but they are getting decimated by a new enemy rider, unlike anything we've ever seen before. New enemy rider? Shit! That can only mean the Nightmare Ascendant. Oh no! Hello again. Shield still vividly remembered the terrifying power of the Nightmare Ascendant. Only with the combined fleet, Fontana ships, and the Sunrider at full capacity, acting together, did they manage to take it down in his timeline. But now, he had no idea whether Fontana's ships were even operational, while his own vessel was completely shut down. In other words, unless he found a way to restore power, they were all going to be dead in moments. Cap, as I was saying, there's a way to turn the reactor back on, but, problem is, you're going to have to go inside the reactor first. Seriously? Oh dear. I've had enough of this reactor from the last session. Spoilers. Oh boy. I'm already not liking the sound of this. I don't know how, but whoever shut the ship down managed to get his hands on Chigara's command ID. The only 2 people who have higher access clearances are you and the commander. I've managed to rewire the engineering base security grid to permit an override. Only problem is that the hack requires you to swipe your command ID on the reactor's internal control relay. Why the hell is that inside the reactor? The console's just used for maintenance tasks when the reactor's being shut off, but basically, that's the only console in engineering the perpetrator of this attack didn't have access to. Thanks to that, I was able to open up a back door to regain control over the reactor system through it. Don't worry, you'll have 20 seconds after you swipe your command ID on the slot before the reactor turns back on. Just climb back up once it's done. You've got to be kidding me. However, when the Sunrider took another massive hit, causing a beam to drop down from the ceiling and smash a row of consoles, Shields realised he didn't have any time to complain. God damn it! He gritted his teeth and pulled himself over the other side of the railing, which blocked off the reactor shaft. In reality, the steel column in front of him was merely the tip of the reactor. Below him, a massive chasm actually housed a majority of the Sunrider's fusion reactor, which was shaped like an enormous sprouting onion. He jumped off the ledge onto a ladder leading down into the reactor's bulb-like bottom. Just as he grabbed onto the ladder, the ship took another hit. Oh shit, oh shit! He lost his footing and hung onto the ladder for dear life as his legs flailed below him. Ah! He managed to regain his balance amidst his curses. Worst day ever! He climbed down and spun a steel wheel, which opened the reactor's gate. However, the next thing he saw when he entered the reactor made his jaws drop. Ooh, that's pretty. An enormous cavern of steel, surrounded by all sides by enormous spires. Where the hell is the console? He scanned the spherical dome for anything resembling a workstation to no avail. Finally, he gave up and poked his head back outside. Icari, where the hell is the console? Icari looked down and hollered back. Huh? It should be right there. Is there still jungle in here? I don't know what's what. For the love of... Aren't you the ship's captain? Captain, not engineer. Ooh. Icari nearly fell down the chasm herself when another enormous explosion shook the ship. Shields heard screaming and the crashing of steel above him. What just happened? Nothing. Half of engineering just collapsed, that's all. Look for the 2 red stripes. The console will be between them. 2 red stripes. Got it. Shields re-entered the reactor core and desperately looked around for the red stripes. Red stripes. Red stripes. There it is. I see it. He ran across the core as the entire ship rattled. Shields swiped the command ID located on the cuff of his wrist against the console's reader. The console screen came to life and displayed various glyphs beyond Shields' comprehension. However, he understood clearly what the countdown timer for 20 meant. I think that means I have to haul my ass out of here. The reactor began to hum back to life. Sparks began to fly from the top of the spires as Shields sprinted across the core. Ah! Suddenly, the entire spherical interior began to revolve around the middle circuit, where the exit was bored through. What in? Shield's sprint suddenly became futile as the entire room began to revolve the opposite direction of where he was running. Gah! Wrong way! Shields turned around and ran the other direction. The gate fast approached him as a revolving floor now added to his speed. He had to jump at exactly the right time and grab onto the exit passage. Ha! He jumped and grabbed onto the ledge of the gate as the entirety of the reactor core revolved around him. The sparks of energy at the tip of the spires began to glow brighter and brighter. With the last of his strength, he heaved himself through the gate and clambered onto the ladder, shutting the gate behind him and spinning the wheel as quickly as he could muster. Just as the gate locked, the ship hummed back to life. Power's back! He heard the satisfying thumping of the Sunrider's AA guns as they woke from their slumber. Grinning with triumph, Shields climbed up the ladder and grabbed onto Icari's hand. You did it! Overcome with joy, Icari and Shields embraced. Shields suddenly realized what he was doing and pulled himself off the mercenary. Oh, yeah. Good job with the fix, Icari. You too, Captain. What? It's not like I hugged you because I like you or anything. I was just relieved, that's all. Ha! Ha! Oh no, the music. I was gonna laugh about something. Their celebration was abruptly cut short when a squad of Marines suddenly burst into engineering. Oh no! Not this again. Sup guys? What the? To their dismay, a wall of rifles formed in front of the group. Freeze! Shit, I was afraid of this. Shields looked around desperately for an escape route. Incidentally, he realized that Claude had once again vanished into thin air. Not that her vanishing act even came as a surprise anymore. True. Oh, hello everyone. Oh dear. Chigara's here as well. Yay! Look at that little smile. Just then, Chigara appeared beside the other shields. Ah, great. So there's the reason why my other self thinks I'm the one who sabotaged the reactor. That's the one, Captain. He's a prototype. There's no doubt about it. He kidnapped me and forced me to shut the ship's reactor down. It was all a plot to render us defenseless so Pact could launch their surprise attack. You see, there's no reason for you guys to get caught up in this too. Just let security take in the imposter. In fact, you all need to sortie now to defend the ship. Come on, myself! Don't just lap up Chigara's words so easily without a second thought. While the other shield's attention was diverted, Chigara's body sneered at him. Hee hee! Heh heh! Oh dear. Chigara's still under the prototype's control. Shit! Everything's still going according to their plan. The Marines approached, rifles drawn. Do I make a break for it while I still can? Shit! that if we hide inside the ship, it's only a matter of time until the other shields captures me again. And now that we've bungled our first kidnapping attempt, there's no way I'm going to be able to capture Chigara again before she sorties for the final battle. I could try escaping the ship with Icari on her rider and hatch a new plan to incapacitate Chigara after the battle, but before the massacre. Oh, hello Ava. Just then, another familiar face appeared. Captain, the Nightmare Ascendant is coming back for another pass. And I've got even worse news. What could be worse than this? Fontana has just contacted us. He has discovered a Trojan embedded in his ship's systems. If he enters the battle now, the prototypes will assume control of his fleet, using their quantum brainwaves at the decisive moment of our battle plan. His best minds are working to remove the virus, but he cannot be sure that his ships will be ready in time, meaning we must assume that the Allied Pack fleet will be unable to assist us in the coming battle. Well, it looks like my message got through at least. But the message still came too late for Fontana to devise a countermeasure. What are our options? Oh no. Captain, I believe I know a way to defeat the virus. I can use Liberty's comm dishes to directly enter the prototype's mind stream, while they're emitting the brainwaves. I'll cause so much interference in their thoughts that they'll be unable to control the Allied ships. Can you really do that, Chigara? Yes, you can trust me, Captain. Ah dear. Captain, proceed with this plan with the full knowledge that the Allied Pack ships have been sabotaged, placing the combined fleet in grave danger. If our chief engineer is unable to disturb the prototype's brainwaves, then our total destruction is all but guaranteed. No, Chigara can do it. We'll just have to trust her. Are you fucking... Despite every damn thing I've done to change the past, my other self still decides to go down the exact same path as before. Frustration bubbled in Shields' veins. Shields, you're making a mistake. It's Chigara who's the prototype. She's being controlled as we speak, right now. If she enters the mind stream, everything you've worked for will be destroyed. Shields glared down Shields. That's weird. That's enough of your lies, prototype. You guys have been trying to tear the ship apart from the moment Lynn set foot in our brig. But your lies have no power here. With one family on board this ship, we're not going to begin to question each other. The ties that bind us is something you prototypes will never understand. Nice speech, Captain, but you're the one completely blind to the truth. The Marines trained their rifles on Shields as he stared at his other self with anguish. Yes, only he could understand what his other self was feeling at this moment. The sorrow, the emptiness. This man had lost his entire family and hedged all his bets on his new one. And that bet was about to burn everything else he had left to ash. Shit, we've managed to restore power and send Fontana the warning. But as long as Chigara remains at large, the massacre is still going to happen anyways. Did Icari already figure out a way to stop Chigara? Looks like I'll just have to trust her for now. Oi, so you're telling me that this Kyoto Shields was just an imposter? But he just helped me restore power to the ship. In fact, if it weren't for him, we'd all be dead by now. None of this adds up, Captain. He did what? You heard her. I just saved this entire ship. But you're not out of the woods yet. I can still help you. I think he's telling the truth. We should trust him for now. Captain, perhaps the imposter seeks to become an enemy turncoat by working for us. If we turn him into a double agent, we could gain tactical advantage in the battle. Yeah, but if a spy turns traitor once, there's nothing to say he won't turn traitor again. Just then, the ship shook as it took a hit. Did you hear that? It's a Nightmare Ascendant. You're not going to last long against it. I know its systems and its capabilities. You need my help. Captain, we're out of time. We must return to the bridge. Alright. Looks like we don't have a choice. Very well, prototype. Let's see if you have anything insightful to offer. But if you try to pull anything, my Marines will gun you down on the spot. Alright. Take him in, boys. With that, the Marines rushed forward and handcuffed Shields. Icari leaned in and whispered to him. Good luck. I'm taking off on the Phoenix and finishing this. Okay, good luck. Well, this is nice. Handcuffed and now we're under arrest. And now we're helping take care of the Ascendant again. Yay.